Hello everyone and welcome back to Boulder Cove. This is episode 12 and today we are actually starting building our first proper city. We have built towns and stuff like that in the future, of course, but this is actually going to be a proper city, a sort of not the biggest one, but might be the second biggest one when I think about it. Yes, they will be a lot bigger than anything else that we built in the past. We're not gonna finish it, of course. That'll be too much to ask for. But we are gonna do a pretty good start. We're gonna finish up the harbor and as well a sort of like a stadium area. I have sort of imagined that I'll finish up the entire city in 2 episodes. I'm not sure. We'll see, because right now what's missing is basically everything else. Yeah, so might be 3 episodes that we're gonna work on this city right here. What we have done so far is, of course, as I said, the harbor, which I sort of struggled a little bit with. I don't think you see too much of that on camera, but yeah, because it took some time before I realized, or before I found a sort of like design that I was happy with. Sometimes it didn't look too good, but eventually I found something I liked. Of course, I do look at Google Maps a lot, trying to find inspiration right there. But it's a bit hard because you don't want to copy anything correctly or like completely copy it. Or you're also gonna find certain places that sort of looks like what you got in game, and that is the hard part, because this map isn't inspired by a certain place. At least that's what I think it's not. So it's a bit hard, but in the end I'm actually very happy with how it turns out. And I think this little area by the shore is going to be quite nice, with a mix of industrial here on the harbor, and of course I think the downtown of this city will be close to the harbor as well. There won't be any like super tall buildings. I sort of want to have a very like industrial city with where the downtown is like, almost like typical American shopping street, with houses that are 2 or 3 stories max tall, and yeah, not too big of a downtown core. Rather have like some bigger retail parks, shopping centers towards the like outskirts of the city, close to the freeway. Rather do that than try to incorporate everything into this downtown core, because I don't want it to be too big, But I'm not doing that right now. I haven't done it right now, so but I can talk about what we have done so far. Starting off with the harbor here in the time lapse. Building a lot of factories. The factories are, of course, from the industry DLC, yeah. And they are. What's so great about them is that they're huge. Some of them are gigantic, but most of them are pretty big, bigger than anything else. So it's a great place to put them right here, because they take up a lot of space, and it's a bit difficult when you're building a like industrial area. You don't want it to get too big, and if it does, you don't really know what to place down there. So and you don't want it to be nothing there either. You don't want it to seem to be deserted, even though a lot of harbors do actually have pretty big areas where there's basically nothing there. In game it looks kind of weird, kind of stands out in a bad way. So yeah, I definitely try to avoid that, but I placed down 3 different kinds of factories. I think one is a I think it's a industrial steel plant mill thing. I don't know what it's called in the game, but yeah, I think that's one of the first one I placed down. And also a shipyard. I of course always want to place that one down because it fits the area quite great. And the last one is, I think, is a clothing factory. Yeah, I don't really know, but place that down as well. Place down a lot of services, of course. Bus depot is now here. I got a big fire station, of course, and also placed down a police station, I think. Yeah, and a warehouse. That's also from the Industries DLC. Is there anything else special? Of course, this the cargo train station. Placed that one down. Sort of created like a small, is it called a train yard? Rail yard? I don't know, it's just a, you'll see it when it gets there. Would probably like to have downloaded some assets that are like props of like train carts that I could place on these on the tracks here, so it doesn't look too abandoned. But then again, the abandoned look kind of fits the area. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turns out. And the last thing is, of course, a cargo harbor. I think it's actually called the cargo hub because there is a train line connected to it. We do get actually some traffic there, which is of course very nice. And what's really great about this area, right now at least, is not too much traffic from this spot, which is, yeah, I'm very happy with that, because sometimes when you place down industrial areas, it gets very quickly too much traffic, and it's way too unrealistic, which is just a shame, basically. But right now, how it is right now, it's perfect. It might be more when we actually build up the city around it, because then it might demand more import. That might be the case, but right now it functions well, because this place can't really handle too much traffic, because it's only one way in and one way out. You do of course have the train line as well, but when it comes to cars and trucks and stuff like that, they only got one way in and one way out. So yeah, I'll have to wait and see, because I don't want, yeah, I'm building this to be somewhat realistic and somewhat beautiful, hopefully, but I also want it to actually function. So I don't want to create, this very nice area and then have like a traffic jam that goes on for like 2 miles. No, I can't have that. I do have it actually in Norton, outside there. I have to go back and sort of fix that, of course. Something to do with, I have a pair of traffic lights on the freeway. It's a long story. It's sort of a mess, but yeah, I have to do that sooner rather than later. But for now, this place is proven to be pretty alright when it comes to traffic. Now, I did mention this a few minutes ago, but I do of course look a lot at maps, Google Maps, US cities, to get some inspiration for this place. And I have done a lot lately, because I don't really feel like I need inspiration when I build with or do nature stuff. Like the last episode was the nature reserve or the national park. That's sort of like, I don't need that kind of inspiration from Google Maps to build that. It sort of comes natural. But when I build cities and stuff like that, some bigger towns, that's when I do struggle a little bit. So I have been looking a lot at maps, and I do have some difficulties finding inspiration, because Boulder Cove is, in my mind, located somewhere in the northwest of the US, maybe British Columbia in Canada, like in that area. in the US, probably like the states of Washington and is it called Oregon? I might be wrong, I don't know. But around that part, that's where I sort of feel it looks. I feel this map looks a lot like it's taken right from there. So when I do look at, for inspiration, I do look at parts around Seattle, of course. Though Seattle is way too big, I will never create a city that's the size of that one. The same goes with Vancouver, kind of too big. I do look a lot at Victoria on Vancouver Island. That's a fantastic city, by the way. I used to live not too far away from that one. And that sort of is... I do get a lot of inspiration from that one, but definitely for this city right here, Victoria as well is way too big. So if you have any suggestions on like places I should look at to get inspiration at, please just write the town or the city or the area in the comments below this video, because I would love to get some more inspiration going. Definitely when it comes to building cities and more urban stuff than I have been doing so far in this project. So yeah, please, if you have any, let me know. Now we are working on the stadium, and it turns out pretty great in my opinion. I'm very happy with how it turns out, and from the second I actually started, playing on this map, very first time, I knew that this spot I had to have a stadium of some sort, because it just fits perfectly in that area, and I wanted a interchange and a stadium right next to it, near the water, because it just fits. It just fits so perfectly, because maybe this area was maybe it was nothing here, maybe it was in industrial area, but it's a perfect spot to sort of demolish all that and build up a nice new stadium for the local football team. There is some football in the US or Canada. The MLS is it called the MLS? Yeah, Major League Soccer. Yeah. The MLS is a great league, but it's not the biggest one, of course. But I do want a lot of stadiums in Boulder Cove, whether that be soccer or football, as it's rightfully called, or American football. Rugby is probably another thing. Yeah, I just want a lot of stadiums, because I just want. I feel like sports and like sports in general is so incredibly important for places like this, like cities in general. It is a sort of a point to meet up, and you just forget all about your day-to-day life. It's I can't really explain it, but I'm a big football fan. I'm actually a football coach myself, part-time of course, but yeah, I do want a lot of like these stadiums around the area. Not too many big ones, of course, because we won't have that many people here, but maybe just a small track and field area around every single secondary school, for example. That is very much how it is in real life, and in like every single community they should have their own some sort of sports club, where they can they can play American football, they can play regular football, ice hockey. There is aquatic center at near Bournemouth College, if you can remember that one. I want a lot of those. So I think I'll be going at the Steam Workshop after this one and just find certain kind of assets that fit that theme. But anyways, this is actually the first big one, and it might actually be the biggest soccer stadium in this area. Maybe this city is the biggest and the best when it comes to soccer in this entire region. Maybe they're even a part of the division underneath the MLS, maybe like a local division. I don't know, but this is a pretty big stadium, so I would expect whoever plays here, they got a lot of money. So yeah, this team right here might be actually the best one in all of Boulder Cove, at soccer at least. But that is actually it for the time lapse. I'm gonna go into the live portion of this video and talk a little bit more about what we've done. Hopefully you'll join me, and after that we'll have before and after shots and more cinematics. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Alright, this is me, this is live, and this is the stadium that we built. I still use parking lot roads, as you can see. However, this is actually the first time I used the proper ones. I always use these ones, which are, I think they're called poorly maintained, or like parking lot roads, poorly maintained version. But I'm imagining this area to be pretty new, or they just maybe paved this area pretty recently. Not all the areas, as you can see, but yeah, it's not that much going on right now. There is a game in a few weeks. It's pre-season right now, so yeah, they're in Spain somewhere on a training camp. That's what I heard, at least. But we got some restaurants near here. This is the Pancakes International. This is IHOP, of course, a rip-off version. Then we got this thing, which is sort of like a convenience store. And this as well. Clippers. Yeah, it's probably like a restaurant, and maybe I say another store inside this one. This is the Drive Club. I'm very happy with this asset right here, because if you zoom out, it sort of looks like the training field for the club. We will have that somewhere else, of course, but from a distance it actually looks like it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And of course the hotel, the Saran Hotel, owned by the can we see what it says? Tyrell Hotels? Yeah, the Tyrell Group, of course. You'll all know about them. But yeah, I love this area. I really do. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised I did all this in the first try. And I think it's all about, just placing something and just going with it, try different things, different shapes, different angles. And once you finish detailing the area, it just looks so much better. So it's a very green area, of course. And let's see like the view from the freeway here, the bridge. It's pretty unique, isn't it? I love that. I love it. The colors are red, but you can of course change that. Anything else? Yeah, I also love this area right here with the bridge, the train tracks, the normal road. How yeah, I just love this area. And of course with the stadium area in the background as well. Yeah, I really enjoy this one. Wait, what's going on here? What's going on here? Okay, it's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to go down like this. Well, you should actually just be there covering that thing. Do you hit the... Oh, you hit it. Alright, how about... Oh, God. There we go. It's fine. Yeah, I needed to actually change this to sort of create more of a curve and a 90-degree angle, because yeah, they go a lot faster when it's a more gentle curve to the entrance of the road, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I needed to speed up the area because it was starting to sort of jam up with a traffic jam. I really love how it looks from every angle, actually. Of course, here is the cargo hub. Here comes a train station with barely nothing loaded, which is how it always is. The train yard, and what else? Oh, I also had a like a post-sorting facility. Yeah. Here's one of the factories I mentioned, industrial steel plant. That was what it was called. I love these like cooling towers. No, it's not cooling towers, just pipes. Yeah. Ferry depot, we of course need that. We're gonna have a ferry stop here, pretty big one, to sort of got ferries going out to all these smaller islands right here. What else? Shipyard. I went ahead and placed down a lot of these props, the containers, so it actually looks like a proper industrial harbor, really, because it looked a bit, looked a bit empty. So, but these props, of course, made it all look a lot better. Here's another factory right here, the clothing factory, and over at this end I placed down a few offices and a gym, sort of like these types of commercial things you find out on a harbor, gym, of course. You got a small pub, sing-along karaoke, yeah, for like people who work here, to go for a drink after work, and also a nightclub and some more offices, because you do see that sometimes, like nightclubs and stuff like that on a harbor. You see it in Grand Theft Auto 5, for example, in GTA Online. That was the one thing I came up with, but yeah, needed to fill in this area, and I went with it. It's starting to get to nighttime now. I have started working on the wait, let's see how long this is. I'm going on for 10 minutes soon. I started working on the road layout. This won't be completely like how it is. Yeah, I do want to change a lot of this, but it's a start. And I also painted some districts and named them of what I want to have there. So opera house here. I think actually there is a proper opera house in game that I thought about placing down. Not this one here. Is it a theater? Yeah. It would be pretty cool to have it here. Sort of overlook the harbor and the little bay. Is that what it's called? The bay that we got here. Yeah, this would be a very cool spot for it. Another thing is a cemetery in this little corner here. Don't know if the corner's gonna still... No, the corner's gonna stay. And a little bit of industry over here. Actually gonna stop time because it's getting kind of dark, but I do like when it's a bit darker. So that's what I thought. Maybe also have like a sort of retail park over here, although it's pretty close to that one, so I might actually want to have it maybe over here. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is I want, like, on this side of this city to have sort of like a poorer area, sort of like, wrong side of the tracks sort of area. That's what I thought, at least. And I do, of course, raised this piece of land up, so it looks a little bit more unique, because this map here is very flat, except of course the surrounding mountains, but everything in the middle is completely flat. So I do want to try to create a bit more hills and stuff like that in these areas. That's why I built a hill up here as well at the college. Another thing I struggle with in this place is we have a freeway here, motorway, highway, whatever you should call it, and here as well. This one leads out to this big island right here, where we're gonna have a pretty big city here, and the other one leads to this island, which leads again to this part. This is where the main city will be, the state capital, the biggest one. But what I sort of struggle with is right now when I connected these roads, you see I start to have a lot of traffic. It's not like traffic that just wants to get from one side of the map to the other, because most cars do that actually. Here we go. It will just say tourist and driving out of the city. You can see they just entered the city, but they're just going through it. It's just to sort of get a little bit of traffic, so it doesn't look completely empty. And I get that, but I don't want them to just drive through the city, because that's the fastest route. But I don't think they have to if they're just passing by, because I don't think, if for example they come from this part, there is no reason for them to enter the city and go on to this highway again, because then they'll basically just get back here. And why would they do that when they could just go on this way? So I think that is okay for now. The cars that we do have is mostly cars from this area trying to get to the harbor. We can actually take a look at that. Sprite. Let's see. Everyone's wanting to visit the harbor, or is leaving the harbor and going to. They might actually work here and just going home to Bournemouth, and someone's going for a swim in the aquatic center. It might not be too bad. I have also thought about having sort of a slip road, almost like to go into a tunnel and then reappear in this side to sort of help carry the load of this road here, which will be one of the main arteries of the city, because it's gonna be a lot of traffic once we get a lot of people living here. So I might continue that one. I also have thought about moving the train station and this entire road closer to the water, just so I could sort of get a more smaller, downtown core, because right now it's quite some distance between these two. And if I were to, create sort of a downtown in this entire area, it would be too big of a downtown for such a small city. So yeah, that's sort of my idea. And I also thought maybe to have a river going through here and maybe reaching the swamp. That might be a thing, just to, you know, create a more unique area. Got a lot of ideas. Not sure if I'll be able to do all that in one episode. I doubt it, but you know, here's hoping. Let's end this video. Let's find a good spot to end it. Look how nice that is. We're gonna actually end it from here. I think this is the first time I end it from such a big distance. Let's start simulation again. Let's just adore the view. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turns out. Got a lot of services placed down here, so we're ready. We're ready to play the game, basically, to create a city. Finally, it's been a while, but I hope you enjoyed this series so far. Can't believe we're 12 episodes in. Can't wait for the future. But once again, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.
Hungry hearts in a rage, glowing eyes in a daze, turning around in a hurry, hoping you will come along. I'm running as fast as I can, in a desperate need of a plan.